Hello everyone, and let's get started for what you are here. To build an iPhone app right now, this is our prime focus. Now fire up your Xcode, and before you do that, here is a small task for you. Now what we are building up is a thanks for a Steve Jobs, and this app will not do much drastically any hi-fi things. It will just simply say thanks to the Steve Jobs. So what we need out here is go to google.com. I hope everyone is aware of the website, and search out an image for Steve Jobs, and feel free to choose any image because we are not going to commercialize the image or anything like that. We are just trying to practice that, so we are not going to use it. So feel free to use any image. I'll be using mine one. I have already gone ahead and downloaded a simple image for the Steve Jobs. Now fire up your Xcode and click on this create new Xcode project. And if you don't know where that screen is coming from, you can also go to file menu and click on the new and can start a new project out there. This is going to be the first window which you're going to see. You can see there is a master detail application, the page based application, single view is selected, tabbed application, and game. Okay, I'm putting a lot of questions in your hand, but bear with me, I'll answer all of them. But right now it's not a good time to ask any question. Just do whatever I do and do exactly like that. So click on the single view application and click on the next. Now here it will ask the name of the product. So we'll call it a simple app that simply says as thanks to the Jobs. So I'll say thanks Jobs. Here what is happening to my typing out there. And what you need to be worried about is the organization name. If there is no organization, just simply put your name. And then there is an identifier, and usually the identifier is a unique package name that makes you different in the App Store. It really try to get rid of the confusion that which is which one and which is which one. And if you don't have any domain, then make sure that you put anything out there like com.example and like that. And usually it's a reverse order notation like com.anything out there. The language is, of course, whatever we are going to do in this entire course is going to be based on Swift. Now you could have chosen the universal iPad or iPhone. Now let's just focus on the iPhone right now. Do not check the use code data. Rest of the things should remain exactly the same. Click on the next. Now it asks you for saving your file. I have created a desktop folder that says iOS 9 exercise file. The test is just for me. You do not need to create that. I would like to prepare myself before recording the lecture so that I don't do any kind of things and do re-recordings and all of that. So I just like to do a testing. Now at the bottom it says source control. Now it says create a Git repository. Right now let's just not talk about them. Checking mark this won't hurt, but right now we are not about the version controls, updating of the apps, and likewise all the things. So let's just not focus on that and let's create out just here. So we have created a new file and a lot of things are happening out there. Now one thing you should be really worried about is the top bar that says indexing, processing the files. Now it is really required that all of the processing is being done before you write any code. It doesn't take really less than a minute average. I would say just around 20 to 30 seconds. First thing that you would like to click on this main.storyboard. Now this is the thing that you should be clicking on that, and right now you can see nothing is out there. Now this is because our file is just loading up, so it will take some time. Now here it is. Now you can see there is a square box out there, pretty unrealistic kind of thing, and a lot is happening over the Xcode. What is this sidebar? What are these? What are these? When I click on app delegate, there is a very intimidating looking code. How will I code that? There is a view controller.swift. So many files, so many questions. Let's not just be worried about. Click on the main storyboard and here we are. Just a look at that. Now what I'm going to do, I don't have a real estate on my screen, so I'll just try to get more room. I'll click on this, the lower bottom, it will get rid of that. And after that, I would like to have a background out here. So I'll move on to this right pane. If that is not being displayed, make sure that you are looking at these three buttons at the right top, and clicking them will appear and disappear the right channel. What I would like to have here is really simple. I would like to have my image out here. So first of all, I need to search out for a couple of words that says image, and there is an image view. Now what you have to do, just click and drag it out here. Put it out there just like that. Now it's a simple drag and drop thing. Everyone can do that. Now hold this bottom square button and make sure that it's a full and large out here. Now the next thing that you need to do is select your jobs image that you have done and bring it to the main storyboard. Now this is the thanks job folder where I'm dropping it, and let it go. After that, make sure that the copy item needed is checked and rest remains everything same. So I'll click on the finish. I'll click outside it once. And after that, I'll click it back again. Let me just resize that. And here it is. Okay, so there it is. Now what I need to do is select my image view again. I'll drop it down and notice that the jobs.png is again available. So here is a jobs image. Now there are tons of options. Don't worry about the question. I have too much questions in the next section. So don't worry about that. I'll select the aspect to fit and notice it looks nice and beautiful now. And after that, I'll move it a little bit out here. I would like to have a few more things out here. So first thing would be you need is a label. Now, what are these labels? Tons of questions are going in your mind. Don't worry, I will ask all of them. I'll answer or address them, a lot of them. So click on the label. I would like to increase it a little bit, just like that. And from here as well. Now make sure that you adjust it according to yourself. And notice there is an option of middle values out there. So everything goes into the centerpiece. I would like to change the label and it would be saying that, hey, I'm really enthusiastic about that. And I would be saying, hey jobs. Okay, done. Now what we need, we are done with the label. We will try to have a button out here. And there is our button at the top. I would like to drag and drop it somewhere around. Notice the lines are helping me, but I'll just drag it around here. And I'll make it a little bit bigger. And I would be saying out here, the button would be simply say thanks. And just click it outside. Now, if I run this application, it is going to take a little time. So let me just run this. Now, you can see there is an iPhone 6 Plus and there is a ton of range. I'll choose, let's say just iPhone 5 and feel free to give it a try to 6S or anything. I would just like to run a 5 version. Now, when I say run, what will happen? It will just run inside a simulator. Now, what is a simulator? Now, simulator is an exact copy of an iPhone, but it's a valid copy, not a hard phone app out here. And notice the 5 is out here, but notice a lot of things. Hey job, just bringing at the side. Then there is a say thanks, which is not much visible, but let's just say it is there. We are coming out there. Now click on this square buttons and it will give you an assistant editor. Now what you want to do is you simply want to click on this this simple Venn diagram again, which says automatic. I would like to have a preview in the main storyboard. And notice this is looking just like an iPhone at the bottom and all that. So I would like to drag it somewhere around here. And notice it's just going out there a little bit out there. And this looks good. Approx center. I'm not worried about too much things out here. And it says say thanks. Okay, so this looks good. Now let me again come back onto the preview and do exactly just I do. Don't worry about anything. I want to go in the automatic and open the file that says view controller. Now if you missed that out, again we went to the Venn diagram. I say the Venn diagram, but it's an assistant editor. And on the assistant editor, first I went into the preview, and after that I went into the automatic and view controller to open this coding file. Now what I'll do, simply once I'm into the view controller, I don't have the room again. I'll get rid of that. And inside my class, what I would like to do is make a couple of lines of entries out here. Now click on this simple hey jobs, press the control and draw a line. Now you can release the line anywhere out there, just let it go. Now this is going to be outlet. Now there are two things out there, outlet and action. Now whenever our code is performing and delivering onto the iPhone, it says outlet, but anything that's happening on the screen and wants it to something go into the coding, that is an action. So our name would be, I'll say hey label. That would be the name and I would hit a connect. Make sure that the outlet is selected for that. Now do not make any mistake out here because there is a circle and inside the circle there is a gray circle. Now if you'll make a mistake or delete that, that will broke the app. Right now we don't have the knowledge enough to fix that. There are a lot of issues with that and later on I'll deal that. Now what I'll do, I'll click on the say thanks again, hit the control and bring it down here, anywhere here, and let it go. Now make sure that you change it to the action, because this time someone will touch out here and we will try to have that. And I'll call it as say thanks. And I would like to connect. Now it's time to write some code. Really, it's exciting, but you don't know what to write. But believe me, just replicate exactly and we will build up a nice looking app. So what we want to say, we want to address hey label, and we want to access the text from the hey label. So I'll call it as a text, and we want to replace the text as simply saying thanks and respect. Now that's a great attribute being given to the Steve Jobs, and let's just save that. Okay, what's the next step? Yes, running up our iPhone app. And let's just run that. And notice, yes, our image is little distorted at the right, but hey Jobs and say thanks are available. Now notice closely what happens when I click on the say thanks. It says thanks and respect. Now that is your first working app. Pretty good, isn't it? I think it is much better than the say hello world. It's quite beautiful and interesting. Yes, you can have a variety of play around with the simulator. In fact, you can go to the hardware and press the home button, which is Command Shift and H. And there is your iPhone. Go ahead and play with it around. Okay, I would like to stop the simulator. Now there might be a ton of questions going on. Why is this app strangely behaving? I want my buttons to be at the center. What are these little buttons and constraints and all of that? How to fix that? Tons of questions are there in your mind. Believe me, I'll answer all of these questions in the next movie. That what are the questions? Now, one thing I would like to suggest you, go ahead and play around with this Xcode. Later on, we will have a movie which will explore the Xcode, but right now just play it with around.